Robin Castleman, and I'm back with Austin Kennedy and Kevin Shannon from the Bryant Law Center, and we're fielding your questions. Y'all ready to keep going?
Let's go.
Okay, the next caller says, I was out of town at a work conference and was in a car accident. Is my workplace responsible for covering my injuries?
Yes, you could potentially have two different claims there. You could have a workers' compensation claim because you're on the job and you meet one of the exceptions to being basically in and out of the course and scope of your employment. If you're out of your employment's area and you were traveling for work and you're going to a conference, I mean, clearly that's in the course and scope of your employment within any exception you want to look at under the Kentucky Work Comp Act. You also have a claim for what's called a third party or bodily injury liability claim against any at-fault driver. So say you were driving to the conference from work and you get T-boned by another vehicle. You're going to have a work comp claim, which will cover your reasonable and necessary medical bills and expenses and a certain amount of your wage loss. You'll also have a possibility of what's called a permanent partial disability claim if you have an impairment rating greater than 0% once you've reached what's called maximum medical improvement. But at the same time, you'll also have a third-party claim against the at-fault driver and that person's insurance. Now, you can recover for the same damages, but if you do, then the workers' comp will have a right to subrogation or reimbursement. So it's very important in cases like this to go ahead and contact a lawyer because these are things that really, unless you do it every single day, you're not going to be able to handle it on your own. And I don't say that every time. I only say that in certain situations. But when you're ever having a case where it has both the work comp element and a personal injury element to it, it's best to go ahead and get a lawyer involved as soon as possible.
It seems kind of complex.
It does.
So.
It's very quickly.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of T-boning, I was T-boned several weeks ago. I made a left turn without signaling, but the other driver was speeding when he hit me. Will the fact that I didn't signal hurt my case?
Well, Robin, I'd say that in that situation, the fact of no signal it's a factor, but the fact that they turned left in front of somebody that was oncoming is probably the bigger factor. Without knowing more about the facts, I'd say that when you're driving, everybody out there on the road has an obligation to exercise reasonable care for their own safety and for the safety of others using the roadway. So here, we've got the caller driving straight. They want to turn left. There's an oncoming vehicle. Sounds as if the other vehicle probably had the right-of-way. The fact that they're speeding, that could affect the claim. If their speed impacted the collision, made it more difficult for the caller to judge time and distance, then that's an issue. But I really think that the turning left, regardless of whether there was a signal made or not, is going to be probably the biggest issue. So probably want to talk to a lawyer as soon as possible on that one, get somebody out to the scene, possibly do a reconstruction depending upon the nature and the extent of the injuries, and see if you can make that a more positive situation for yourself.
Always excellent advice. You guys always take care of us. I want to thank you for being here with me today.
No problem.
Our pleasure.
And if you guys want to revisit this segment of Legal Line, log on to WPSDLocal6.com and click Legal Line.
All right, thank you, Robin. And before we go, if you need plans tonight, 8th of August events continue this week and into the weekend. The Little Mr. and Miss pageant kicks off tonight at 6 p.m. at Paducah Middle School, 7 a.m. tomorrow. There's an emancipation breakfast at Washington Street Baptist Church in Paducah, followed by a free food giveaway at 11 a.m. The annual parade starts at 10 a.m. Saturday at 12th Street and Broadway in Paducah. There is a full list of all the events on our website. That's WPSDLocal6.com.
And we're enjoying some pretty weather for early August the next several days. Going to be hot, but not just terribly humid and miserable outside, at least a little bit more tolerable than it was a couple weeks ago. Highs will be in the lower 90s right on through the next week. We'll stay dry through the weekend. Might be a pop-up shower or two by early next week.
All right, Trent, thank you. And thanks for watching Local 6 Midday.